Well, guys, welcome to the NXT August 7th, 2019 review. There wasn't much on the show, but it had a lot of great promos hyping up this pay-per-view event for NXT TakeOver Toronto. I was very impressed with a lot of the promo videos. Every one of them gave you a legit reason to watch. And the last promo that they did with Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole is what I am talking about, that WWE main roster needs to have. I'm not talking about all the stuff that led up to it. I'm talking about a full-on documenting exactly what each competitor is going through leading up to their big matchup for a world championship. They should have press conferences for a go-home show between two guys that are in pure hatred towards one another, and a couple of matches here and there throughout the entire show, but most of it just press conferences, giving people a reason to want to go see this pay-per-view and sit down in their home for 3 to 4 hours watching a full-on event, giving us a purpose and a blingering of hope and care to see that they give a shit about their own product that they're trying to deliver to us as the audience. That is what I'm looking for. That is what they delivered on the NXT World Title match between Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. That is exactly what we need to see. Now, granted, I don't believe this full-on documentary that they followed all the way through between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano is going to appear on this the promo video for the actual matchup, which is fine because this documentary was about 13 minutes long total, so it was pretty long in itself. But at the end of the day, man, we got a legit reason to watch. When I watched this promo video of Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole's world title match, my God, did the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Which generally doesn't happen as much anymore when I watch professional wrestling. I don't get that energized feeling that I want to just jump up and go see this matchup. Tonight, with what they did for that world title match, and even if they didn't, I still would want to see it, because NXT is legit wrestling. NXT is pure adrenaline, pure aggression. It is what WWE used to be. WWE, when they were in the aggression era, or ruthless aggression era, that is when WWE was WWE. It didn't have to do all these crazy antics or create all these insane storylines. What you got in that ring is what you got. And what you had in these promos was pure intensity with a touch of comedy and so forth that got you interested and, well, not really interested, but entertained you in a way that would, make you laugh and feel like you're having a good time, but at the same time bring you back to seriousness and serious business between the characters that you're trying to build within those storylines. I mean, if you look at the beginning of the show for the tag team titles, for the signing of the tag team title match, you got that. You got comedy, you got realism, and you got seriousness that these two teams have nothing more, but they can't afford to lose. Neither team can afford to lose their match. The Street Profits have to beat the Undisputed Era to claim that they are the legit tag team champions that they are right now. The Undisputed Era needs to win the tag team titles because they need to reclaim their throne back on the tag team division and also prove that they are what they say they are, that they are undisputed. So at the end of the day, when you look at these two tag teams, neither one of these two tag teams can afford to lose, which with that statement brings intrigue, which brings there's gonna be a winner and there's gonna be a loser, but who's gonna be the one standing tall at the end of the night for the tag team titles? We got that. Now, granted, there was a little bit of kind of dialogue that seemed like something that we see on the main roster, but not really bad. It had a small touch of it for a little bit, but then it came right back to the way NXT normally is. And it was that whole thing about, oh, that was funny, Street Profits. Yeah, that's funny. But, I actually told Bobby Fish a funny joke. And the joke went something like this. The Street Profits, NXT Tag Team Champions. Yeah, that sounds a little familiar what Daniel Bryan said when he said the SmackDown Tag Team division in the WWE is a joke. So, that is kind of a little bit of a copycat of what they did with Daniel Bryan and Rowan, which I didn't particularly like. I thought that was a little bit of an insult, but at the end of the day, who cares? It's a little bit forgiven because of the fact this is NXT that always delivers on what they're trying to provide for entertainment and wrestling quality for the hardcore wrestling fan. So this show pertains a lot to hardcore wrestling fans as casual fans as well, if they would actually tune in to the NXT roster. But for whatever the case may be, maybe they don't, maybe they do. I don't give a shit. I care about professional wrestling. That's why with AEW's announcement that they are pertaining more towards the hardcore wrestling fan, and that's what they care about than the casual fan, they're still going to drag in those casual fans. Because if they can bring in big-time names that WWE used to have, or had, at that point in time, and they like them, the casual fan, they will go and see that wrestler on their show. And I'm pretty certain they will. Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, a guy like him, a casual wrestling fan who actually liked him on the main roster at one point, didn't get a chance to see much of him, they might actually tune in to AEW, possibly. I don't know. I particularly don't care. Because the casual wrestling fan is what has ruined professional wrestling all on its own in the WWE main roster, because that's what the WWE main roster pertains to. The casual wrestling fan. The one that's not loyal to the wrestling community. The one that's not loyal to the wrestling brand of professional wrestling. You want entertainment? Provide us entertainment with wrestling. That's what we're here for. That's what we're wanting to watch the fucking show in the first place. To watch a wrestling show, not a three-ring circus. This is not a three-ring circus. This is serious business about guys that want to become world champions or women that want to become world champions. You take Mia Yim and Shayna Baszler. These two women, Mia Yim hasn't had a lot of time to develop her gimmick, but in just a short period of time explaining her story and her upbringing towards professional wrestling and getting through the hard times that she was raised in as a child, and then going about winning and having matches with some really good opponents leading up to this point, which I don't believe she's going to win. If she does, I'm okay with it anyway, because Mia Yim, I can get behind her. She's a really legit person. She's a street smart person. She's a person that will do anything to win at any cost. And against Shayna Baszler, the way she is, and plus having two other cronies behind her back to protect her, she's going to have to do those kinds of tactics. She's going to have to fight any which way she possibly can to walk away as a new world women's champion. So at the end of the day, you got to go with Mia Yim if you're going to have her win. I definitely am okay with her winning. I'm okay with Shayna Baszler winning and retaining the world championship altogether. Both of these women are great. So at the end of the day, we win either way we go. Because Mia Yim is a legit person. She is a person that the audience can get behind. Shayna Baszler is a wrestler, technician wrestler, who, if you're interested in professional wrestling, technician wrestling, Shayna Baszler is the person that you want to be behind on that. So if you're into both of those types of characters, you can't lose. as a fan. So I don't particularly care who wins. I think that these two women are going to provide us a entertaining and fun match that will probably be a 5-star classic. I truly believe that. Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, this match is going to be very interesting. The reason why is not just because this is a 2 out of 3 falls match, because we already seen that in their first encounter with each other, where Johnny Gargano got his first world title match, his first world title win, excuse me. But this time it's a little bit different. Now, granted, the two matches that were chosen by both opponents really kind of pathetic. I think a street fight. Okay, fine, street fight, one thing. A singles match by Adam Cole, I think was a little ridiculous. He should have upped the ante a little bit, but okay, fine. The thing that they're doing with William Regal, they're leaving that third fall linger, and I like that. That is a nice little bait to throw to the audience to give them a reason to want to fucking watch this match. Because there's one of two things that are going to happen. It's either going to be a last man standing match, which I would be totally fine with. But they've already done that type of match. Now, throwing this out there 100 fucking times. 100 times. Keep wanting to see it happen in NXT. It's happened in WWE main roster 100 fucking times when you have a serious rivalry going on. I want to see a third fall be in a Hell in a Cell match. I know it sounds crazy. I know that it won't be a surprise if they got a fucking cage hanging above the ring. So at the end of the day, you're going to kind of know what's going on. So that's going to throw everything off. So they're going to have... That match is not going to happen. It more than likely will not happen. It's going to have to be some kind of match that doesn't contain a steel cage around the ring. Unless they just don't give a shit and they come out on the pre-show and William Regal says, well, at the end of the day, when they end up to the third fall, if it goes to a third fall, we're having a Hell in a Cell match on the pre-show. Now, if they decide to do that, I'm cool with that. That would make a lot of sense for them to do something like that, to leave it linger until the pay-per-view event begins, at least for that Saturday. But if they don't go with a Hell in a Cell match, more than likely they won't. I think a last man standing match would be suitable, or this may even sound crazy, they could do a 10-minute Iron Man match, but I think that would be a little stupid. They could do a ladder match. That would be the other option they could go with. That would definitely work. So yeah, I think a ladder match, a last man standing match, those two type of matches might be suitable for something like this in a 2 out of 3 falls. So if they go with a ladder match or a last man standing match for the third fall, I would be totally fine with either one of those two choices. But at the end of the day, it should be a lot of fun to find out who actually what's going to be the third match of this. Because you know for a fact, both of them are going to win the first 2 falls, and then it's going to go to the third fall. They wouldn't throw this out there and just say, hey, William Regal's going to hold off on giving us this third fall information and not have a third and final fall between these two men. So that's just my saying on it. Oi Shirai and Candice LeRae's promo video was unbelievable. Granted, I still don't understand why Oi Shirai had to turn on Candice LeRae, nor do I care at this point, because quite frankly, Oi Shirai looks fucking hot as hell. Yeah, if you can believe that came out of my mouth. Oi Shirai playing this heel villain, she looks hot as fuck with black leather all over her. Damn hot as shit. Better than any blonde bitch that's in the WWE main roster. She also looks like a badass. The way she sounds, the way she talks, the way she's portraying herself on TV. She doesn't give a flying fuck about the audience. She doesn't care about making friends. The only thing she cares about doing is making it to the top of the mountain by herself with nobody's help, and proving that she is one of the best female wrestlers in the world. Now, granted, I kind of didn't like the idea of her talking. I think she's Japanese or Chinese. I'm not quite sure. So please excuse me if I'm incorrect about her. Which Asian, if she's a Chinese or Japanese lady, I do apologize about that. But quite frankly, Oi Shirai looks fucking fantastic as a heel. The way she became a heel made no sense to me, but the way she is a heel makes perfect sense in the world to me to have her as the heel at this point, just based on how she's portraying the character. Candice LeRae, she's got a lot of she's the underdog in all this. She does not look anywhere close that she's going to even win this matchup. I don't even think I wouldn't even give her the time of day to beat Oi Shirai. Oi Shirai should kick Candice LeRae's ass. Period. What are the other matches that they kind of hyped up? Shayna Baszler, Mia Yim, I already talked about that. This is going to be a fantastic matchup that either way, whoever wins, I think people will be legitimately happy with the end result, no matter who it is. We had two matchups. One didn't even happen. That was Killian Dane and Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle, I gotta tell you, I don't know why they're punishing the poor son of a bitch. The guy should have a matchup with fucking Goldberg. Fuck Dolph Ziggler. Really? I mean, wouldn't it be a awesome idea to throw Matt Riddle in the middle of the ring and just have a surprise entrance by Goldberg at an NXT TakeOver event? Holy shit, would that be fucking awesome. Have a legend go up against a guy like Matt Riddle. God almighty, would that be amazing. I would pay money to see Goldberg versus Matt Riddle. It's legit reason for these two to even compete. It's legit heat. Real heat by two guys that don't really see eye to eye on professional wrestling. Matt Riddle thinks Goldberg just uses wrestling as a way to make cash, doesn't care about the sport whatsoever, and Matt Riddle thinks he's a better wrestler than he is. Which, quite frankly, I'm going to go on record and say, yes, Matt Riddle is. But Goldberg's a fucking intimidating performer. If he hits you with a fucking spear, that shit fucking hurts. Literally. I would not want to take a spear from Goldberg. He's one of the people that performed the spear perfectly. He's the one who engineered the spear in the first place. He's the first person to ever perform the spear and make the spear look cool. There is no one that can do the spear as good as Goldberg. Jackhammer, unbelievably great when he does it correctly, though. Unfortunately, lately he has not, especially against Undertaker. I was sad. I have to give people credit where credit is due. They are absolutely right. As much as I love Goldberg and Undertaker, and as much as credit I'll give to Undertaker and Goldberg, despite the fact the match looked absolutely out of place, it looked completely messed up and, lackluster to begin with, I'm still going to give these men credit because of the age that they're at to perform at that level. I still say that people should give them credit despite the fact, yes, they are right to a certain extent, but you got to also take into account that their age is, they're old. They're 50 something years old, man. So give them a little bit of slack, I mean, they have a reason for why they're performing the way they are. It's not because they're shitty ass wrestlers, it's because they're fucking old. So give them a break. Now, granted, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, isn't there a certain point where they need to consider retiring and letting it go? Yeah, I believe so, most definitely. But I think Matt Riddle should have a match with Goldberg. Fuck Dolph Ziggler. That's pretty much my point of bringing up this subject, and that would have been great for an NXT TakeOver matchup. Honestly, I truly think they need to extend the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view event because they have more quality to their wrestling than WWE ever could. I'm watching both NXT TakeOver and going to watch the damn SummerSlam pay-per-view. Yes, guys, I told you Extreme Rules. It would be my last review I'm ever doing as a live WWE event. Unfortunately, I am watching this damn pay-per-view because, one, I have nothing to do Sunday night, and two, I got a neighbor that's interested in the WWE's pay-per-view, and he doesn't have his cable because he's low on money, so he didn't get to pay it. So he's watching it on WWE Network. He was going to pay the fucking pay-per-view, which I think he's crazy for doing. But he doesn't have cable to even do that in the first place, so he's going to watch it over at my house. Okay, well, whoop-de-doo on that, all that information. But bottom line is, this is going to be really sad to watch WWE SummerSlam. Comparing it to NXT, NXT is going to blow them the fuck away. This feels like a legit WrestleMania type quality pay-per-view matchup that deserves 3 to 4 hours worth of airtime compared to what SummerSlam deserves. SummerSlam deserves only 2 hours at max. Really. It should be a fucking regular television show because they don't put effort into this. There's no care in the WWE program, and I just can't fucking stand it. I think it's a joke. Anyway, guys, leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you liked the video. And hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. The matches that occurred on this show, I'm not really going to get heavily into. I kind of forgot to mention that. Kelly and Dane, Matt Riddle, like I said, didn't even have a match. That didn't even happen. Shane Taylor versus Jacqueline Wild was a decent, okay matchup. It was kind of slow. I give it a 3 out of 5 star. Just an average Joe match. Nothing major. And Shane Taylor won this matchup by pinfall. So that was pretty much all there was to it. And the rest of the show is just promo videos and hype up for the pay-per-view, which is what we needed for a go-home show. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night. Bye.